Well, I was having a hard time going to sleep after watching this. So Skinamarink is a new independent experimental horror film directed by first-time director Kyle Edward Ball. And I think for this review in particular, I'll go ahead and give you guys a little disclaimer. Skinamarink is very different. So different, in fact, that I can't even fully explain what the hell is going on in this movie, or even what went down. But from the trailer and general synopsis, it's essentially about these two children that wake up in the middle of the night to find that their father has disappeared along with all the doors and windows in the house. And there may or may not be some malevolent presence lurking in the dark corners of said house. I know that this movie had a lot of buzz about a year ago, especially on TikTok, but apparently it was leaked online, and people who saw it before it ever came to theaters said it was probably the scariest thing they had ever seen. The only thing I knew before going into this movie was that this movie was made with a budget of like $15,000. And upon watching this movie, it's very clear to me that this movie was made with a very particular vision in mind. There's a lot of shots of dark hallways, rooms, ceilings, doorways, and there's a lot of shots that are close to the ground, and occasionally you might see the feet of these characters as they're navigating this huge dark house. Oh, I also forgot, the characters in this movie, you never see their faces. Not once. And everything is all kind of out of focus with this 8-bit filter thrown on. It just really makes you feel claustrophobic and uneasy when you're watching. If you stick around. I'm not paraphrasing when I say this. I watched 20 people walk out of my screening in the first 15 minutes of this thing. And the only reason they walked out is because the beginning is a little slow. Nothing's happening. Where's the big scary ghost, man? I thought this was gonna be the next Conjuring, man. Modern audiences are stupid as shit, man. But you know what? I'll defend them a little bit by saying, admittedly, the beginning of this movie is kind of slow. But I also think that's the beauty of Skinamarink. This is how you do atmospheric horror the right way. There are moments in this movie where your mind just starts playing tricks on you. Like you'll be looking down one of these dark hallways or rooms for such a long time that your imagination starts taking over and you begin to see shit in the darkness. Absolutely made my skin crawl quite a few times. In the moments where bad stuff is happening, you still don't truly know what's going on. You'll hear things going on off screen, or you might see a quick flash of something, but it's always off camera or out of focus. So once again, you're relying on your imagination to kind of fill in the blanks. This movie plays off that fear of the unknown and that fear of things lurking in the darkness that you can't see. But they sure as hell can see you. And dude, the sound design, the sound design in this movie is absolutely great. There is dialogue between the characters, but kind of like everything else, it's kind of out of focus and muffled. Sometimes it's very hard to understand what's being said, so the movie will put up subtitles to help you understand what the characters are saying. And it's especially creepy when something that is neither of the characters begins to talk. Skinamarink relies a lot on its environment and its sound for its scares. And normally that would be set up for jump scares galore. But I counted, there are only 2 jump scares in this whole film. Everything else is just purely atmospheric. They do make those 2 jump scares count, I will give that to them. And I can see a lot of people trying to compare this to movies like Paranormal Activity, mainly because of the low budget aesthetic that this movie has. But it takes certain liberties and things you'd expect from a movie like Paranormal Activity and kind of just turns them on their head. Like I've said before a million times, the fear of the unknown is a lot scarier than something that I can see and physically touch. I will say though, I do think this movie could have been a little shorter, because it does drag a bit, and being in pitch black while it's super quiet, perfect recipe for a nap. In the end, Skinamarink surprised me a lot. Movies like this are often set up to fail, but Skinamarink managed to bring me back to a time where the dark was just truly frightening to me. Like, I really haven't felt this creeped out or this tense watching a horror film in a very long time. This is a movie that is going to divide a lot of people. Some people are going to hate it and feel like they got their money stolen, but because I really liked Skinamarink and I want to see this director do more, I'll definitely buy Skinamarink for my collection. Like I said, this is going to be a film that is definitely not for everybody. You know, I may joke about the 20 people walking out, but I can kind of understand why they did. I just think it's a little funny. Like, 20 people? Just because the beginning was a little slow? It is pretty excessive. But anyway, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new. I really enjoyed Skinamarink for what it was. I remember seeing a trailer for it and kind of going, I mean, It's a horror film, but it's also January, so you know how January movies can be. So far, January has not been a bad month for movies. It's really strange because when you think of January movies in general, January is usually the dumping ground for studios that just want to get trash out of the way so they can get to their bigger stuff later on in the summer and the spring. But anyway, that's all I'm going to have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, I'm the Unbiased Movie Nerd, saying peace. I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace out, everybody.